Here's first session of Flames of the Divine. That, oh my goodness, that is loud on my computer. I had the volume turned way up. So, last session, Rudy, would you like to describe what happened last session?
I have no idea.
That's par for the course. Heaven, would you like to describe what happened last session?
I can try. So, after that's loud. After finding Jule, the party returns to the camp, where they rest up for the possible return to Lundruk. And that's it.
There were a few other things.
It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know. But I will go through it all with you now.
Right.
Okay, so sneaking your way back through enemy lines, you managed to get the little girl Julie back to the camp, and her mother was quite happy to see her safe. If and if and if and if there if not much has really changed at the camp, but her at the drow that worked for matron Colleen, who were pretending to be who were pretending to be on her side by all who were pretending to be on Ladon's side by all accounts have turned on and the Knoll pack and now and well, what you're given to understand is that there's about to be a string of unfortunate gnolls being shot in the back across the valley. Also, Heaven's gonna break a Talus's hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, it's been it's been a couple of days since you got back. Taking the time to rest up and all. And by all reports, the reports that the word around that everyone's gotten is that the Gore Scout pack has not been quite wiped out, but reduced to basically nothing. By the Drow suddenly turning on them. And no one seen hide or hair of Ladon himself in that time, though. But we'll get to that. For now, we'll go through what each of you have done in those few days, and we'll start with Rudy, because I feel like that's probably going to be the quickest.
I ran out of books to read. So I'm rereading a book.
The Leonin here, unfortunately, are not super huge on the written word. They tend to do stuff. They tend to do. This tribe goes more in for oral storytelling.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. Silo.
She'll be a snippet about on her party members. She'll be watching Heaven and Talos as his hair is being girlified, and then she'll go watch.
Well, we're gonna get to that later. So we'll. Yeah. What else?
I gotcha. She's also been watching Gregor and seeing what he's been up to too. She's been wandering around mainly, and she's also been trying to hide from them to a degree, just seeing if they would notice her.
Roll just a general stealth check for that.
Okay. Well, she was not hiding.
On that note, Gregor, what do you do in the camp, just around the camp? Is there anything you particularly want to do?
Well, can't really think of anything. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine. Now, Talos and Heaven, I've saved you two for last because we all know what's going down here.
Mhm.
So,
Are you,
Heaven,
are you two dating in game again?
No.
It
No,
was.
we're not.
I know it was a joke. Anyway, let's all continue.
yeah. So anyway, well, okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty okay. That picture's pretty cool, Heaven. But why? But well, Julie is watching raptly. Well, let me set the stage. Talos's family's tent have kind of been just cleared out, and Julie is there. As she is watching raptly as Heaven and Talos you sit down to do a thing. On the other side, another part out of the bargain being fulfilled. Kalena is talking to Malak, about whatever that one undead did to him. See if they can pin down what's going on. So, Heaven, describe exactly exactly and clearly what you're doing as you do it.
Well, as soon as Heaven gathers the necessary supplies, she looks at Julie as Talos sits in front of her, staring at the opposite side of the tent wall. Staring at the
Okay.
tent wall.
Well, Ted.
Well, I figured
I
this
guess
is where.
I don't know what the walls of a tent are called, but Talos. But Peter, how uncomfortable does Talos look?
His eye twitches every so often, and he looks like he's just barely putting up with it.
Go on, Heaven.
Heaven just she she just pats Talos on the shoulders and whispers, "Don't worry, I won't do anything outrageous. It'll be simple. You'll be fine."
And he just starts grumbling, "You better not."
Heaven just cheekily um grins at him before looking to Julie. For Talos, he's got a thick, long head of hair, and not all men like to style hair as much as women do.
A beetle crawls
So,
out of Talos' hair.
as you can see from that. So, I'm just going to do something simple, but with a little touch here and there.
Yeah, and so Julie is just sitting and nodding at all this with like wide eyes.
First thing I'm going to do, we'll do is wash out this mane, get all the beetles and whatever's in there out. And she she finds up this huge wash tub that she had filled with warm water, not hot, not cold, just lukewarm. And she motions Talos to lean back.
Which he groans a little, and he begrudgingly does. He looks to Julie and he says, "I resent you by proxy."
Heaven
He
just
I like Julie's kind of got a gremlin-y smile on her face.
Heaven just grins, chuckles, and says, "You'll be fine." She then looks to Julian whispers, "It's another thing about men. They're big babies when it comes to fashion." And Heaven make sure Talos didn't hear her.
Like she nods.
So Heaven, using some main care products that, what's Talos' sister's name again?
The one that's here is called Danae.
Okay, thank you. She used some hair products that are, in a way, like conditioner and shampoo that Danae loaned her to wash out Talos' mane thoroughly.
It's just not here at all.
When after a while, she squeezes out. She motions Talos to sit up and squeezes the water off his mane, out of his mane. How dirty is the water?
Talos, roll intelligence to see if you've been remembering to bathe.
I mean, considering he was traveling with Rudy, I'd imagine he probably would have been, because she would have just flat out told him, "You stink."
That's fair. But it's also been like you've also just come off like over a month of hard traveling at this point. And so I'm gonna say it's pretty dirty.
And well, he
See?
can only do so much while on the road.
Yeah, very much so.
Seeing this, Heaven points to the water. This is why we wash our hair. Before dumping the water outside.
Are you gonna do that later to yourself?
Yes, but with clean water.
Okay.
I wash every other day. But when I can't do anything, a quick prestidigitation spell helps. But this is a method for those who are not magically inclined or don't exactly have enough magic in them to cast prestidigitation.
Kind of wimp can't. Kind of if wimp doesn't have enough magic to cast prestidigitation.
Evan just shrugs her shoulders. Not every creature is born with magic or the ability to cast magic, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Sucks to be that.
Julie saying that Talos does kind of clear his throat.
Kevin points to Talos, as you can see here.
A lot of
Heaven.
And whatever magic I do have is combat focused.
Mom says it's rude to call people primitive.
Well, I'm not calling him primitive. I'm just saying his magic focuses on a different area of expertise. I mean, for myself, I normally use my magic for entertainment, but I've been broadening my horizons as of late.
Yeah. I've been trying to
Now,
learn how to control minds.
really,
Yeah, it's
won't
fun.
that give you a headache though?
And only if it doesn't work.
You know, in between, well, as Heaven is going on, he says, "You know, people are more likely to trust you when you don't use mind control magic, right?"
Oh,
Is that important?
if you want
Well,
people to, like you, that is important.
But okay, since you, I'm gonna call that the
I
help
mean,
action.
people outside your known circle.
Okay, so since Talos said it initially, I'm gonna ask him to do this. Roll persuasion, and I'm gonna say haven't used the help action, so roll it with advantage.
Okay, and that's persuasion?
No, just from Talos, and then you like provided him with advantage by chiming in.
Okay.
Huh. But what if I guess I could. I guess making them like me won't always work.
It usually never works. Not good, not for good anyway.
Oh.
It usually ends up with the caster being, well, put out of everyone's misery.
Like what mom what mom did to that one guy who tried to break into our house.
Evan's gonna ignore that and just resumes her focus on Talos' main. Now that back to the task at hand. Now that Talos' main is washed, I've been going over and I see some split ends here and there. Another important fact in hair care is to keep it nice and trimmed. I don't need to cut it drastically short, just enough to clear out the split ends and let the hair grow out healthier. And as she does that, Heaven starts snipping at the split ends like a hairstylist. Not individual, but like locks here and there.
Okay.
In between all this, he does. CeeLo is still spying on them, right?
Oh yeah, CeeLo. Where exactly are you situated in all this? Where you and you're spying on them?
Outside of the tent, just wandering about. She's just overhearing it all.
Okay. Like, you think you're being subtle, but like the sun is shining on you, so that like everyone can see your shadow from inside.
Yeah, and Heaven goes, "Hi, CeeLo."
The shadow suddenly darts away.
There is another seat here.
The shadow does not respond as it is gone now.
Can you tell her to come back? Maybe I can try your techniques on her.
Maybe once we're through here, I'll have to. With her, I may have to bribe her or something.
Oh yeah, Mom does that all the time.
Heaven then returns to Talos' hair. Now, normally one would use a towel to dry the hair, but since I want to make this short, she then casts prestidigitation to dry Talos' mane. I just use this.
Okay. So you're just like using it like a hairdryer?
Well, I basically just snap my fingers and Talos' hair is dry as bone.
And
call it a shortcut.
Okay.
Now that his mane has been clean and cut, I'll show you a simple braid. A small one.
Yeah.
Heaven then goes over here so that Jule can see. Now, watch what I do. And then Heaven just takes a small group of hair and starts braiding down the side. You divide a section into 3 equal parts, then left, right, left, right. She continues this until she reaches the end. Then she pulls out a piece of string and ties the end, equivalent to a hair tie. Now, would you like to try your hand on the other side?
Okay. And she like scoots over. And
In between all this, Talos just looks up over to Jule's mom and just with this pleading look of, please tell me you're fixing my brother.
I'll have Kalena roll inside to see if she notices you and ask you. She sees you and like she just nods. And now I'm going to have Julie roll sleight of hand to see how she does at this. And her dexterity is decent, so. That's a natural 19 plus 3. She picks it up pretty quickly.
Heaven
like,
then pulls out.
There's a couple of like she needs to like restart at one point, but when it's done, it actually perfectly matches the one you just made.
Heaven smells an approval and hands Julie another string to tie it off. If you need help, just let me know.
And she ties it off and backs up.
Pulls out six colored beads and hands three to Julie. Now here's the fun part. After handing Julie the beads, Heaven takes her braid and starts putting the beads on where the hair tie is, so that the beads hide the tie completely. But they are above the knot, so they would slip out.
DM me didn't understand any of that, but Julie follows along perfectly.
Basically, have you ever seen people with beads in their hairs, in their braids?
Yeah. Like
I get it. It's like
I more or less get it. Beads.
Yeah. So, yeah, Heaven does that. And lets Julie work her own beads. They can be in any arrangement you want. I went with the beads that Danae say have the colors that best suit the tribe.
So yeah, it's a whole lot of red.
Well, I mean, like there's some red and orange and yellow.
Yeah. Well, red and orange predominantly.
Okay. So,
You girls. Sorry, what was that?
So, did Julie get them on?
Yep.
Okay.
Like she just rolled a 22. I'm just gonna say she follows your instructions perfectly going forward.
Okay. Heaven then pulls out a couple feathers. Says, "Now this will probably will do for now, but if I were ambitious, I would put like a feather on one of the braids for some decorative purpose. But I think that's a decent lesson for today."
Yeah.
And Talos now has two braids that go from the base, from behind the base of his ear down to the end of his mane.
Yeah.
That go over the shoulder.
Literally, in literally what she just and literally what you just posted in the Discord chat.
Yep, I say that.
Yeah. All done.
Heaven then looks at Alice. Well, what do you think? She
There's
then
a
hands him a mirror, a small mirror.
there's a moment of silence where he just looks at you, looks at Julie, and then he says, "Well, at least my hair is washed now."
Yeah, you really needed it.
It
Tell
could have
me.
been worse. It could have been worse, Talos. We could have put your mane up in pigtails.
Please don't.
Heaven giggles.
Yes, and yes, please don't. And yes, please don't. And I do not. And whenever my daughter gets ideas, she tries them on people. And then actually gets a good. She actually gets a good look at your main. Not bad. So, like she sort of waves Malik over. I think and get this. I think we figured out what's wrong with your brother.
He's not. Uh, he's not turning into a zombie, is he?
Oh no. This is something much more subtle. Based on his description, and she just pulls up a chair. She just pulls up a chair, and Julia gets out of the way so you can all have a proper conversation. Based on his description of the thing, and I think the thing that it was sort of a shade cloaked in rags, was it not?
It looked like like a flying cloak. Yes.
That sounds like an Alep to me.
A what?
An Alep. Allip.
Yeah, I was asking in character.
It's well, now you said you suspected that your brother was suffering in memory loss, yes?
His exact words were, "I feel like I've forgotten something, but I don't know what."
Well, the good news is that this is not the case. The Alep it was not taking something out; it was putting something in.
So some sort of infection.
Not quite. Aleps are created when a mortal discovers a very dangerous secret. The secret itself may be protected by a powerful curse. It's basically a secret so powerful that they literally cannot take it, and so become that. This isn't just knowledge; it's curse knowledge. You understand?
So
Your brother will have been given in a small sliver of that knowledge.
well, the fact that he isn't gibbering mad implies that he's fine for the moment.
In yeah, in yes, for the moment, and there's no in we would need to know exactly what the secret is to know for sure, and unfortunately, I do not personally possess the means to delve into his mind.
So what you're saying is, for all we know, Malik here could be a ticking time bomb of some sort of
Well,
eldritch horror.
if nothing bad's happened yet, that's usually a good sign.
Well, and it has been, feels like it's been a few months since that encounter, so
Yeah.
So it probably is benign.
Yeah. Oh, incidentally, there's been in the time you've been here, there's actually been another 3-day black sun. Not a single undead showed itself. You don't know if the last one and drew them all in and you killed them, or if they all got attracted to something else. But there was no movement until that one.
So, since you're the undead expert here, Miss, what exactly is your recommended course of action?
Well, if anything changes, I would. If anything changes, I I would advise finding a way to figure out what the secret is. Is there is there are is there are some um, um, there are some that I can achieve. This one in particular is fairly easy to learn, and although I do not have it,
Wedward,
although I do not know it. Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing in the background, but we can hear a lot of background noise, like clattering and you fiddling with dice.
That was literally what I was doing. I don't know. Just did that. Anyway, so there's a spell. So, do you know of the detect thoughts spell?
It sounds familiar. I believe Rudy talked to me about that before. I was questioning her about magic, and it was one of the things that she brought up.
And that would well, used correctly, it could be a way to dive into his mind and then learn the nature of the secret. And of course, you would need to find someone who knows it, which I personally do not.
I'm not. Well, I don't wish to go and bother Rudy about this. She usually is fine with doing something or another, but well, I don't exactly know if she knows that spell or not.
Yes, like I can promise you this much. It whatever it is, it does not seem to be immediately urgent. So you do have time.
If I may, what kind of person is capable of learning detect thoughts?
Um, it is, it, it is definitely it is definitely it is an arcane spell. So also so ma- magic you learn and yourself elf is well. It is the kind of spell that one must learn it and for oneself. It cannot be given. Translation: bards, sorcerers, and wizards.
And thanks for a moment. I think I might know someone, but I need to send them a message in order to confirm my thoughts.
Well, best case scenario, it seems as though Malik will be a bit of a traveling companion for us for a while.
Indeed, that
Well,
it that may depend. That may depend on exactly what the nature of the spell is.
Well, all the same.
Is
All the same. Best to keep positive and make sure everything's fine.
Yes, of course. I should warn you. Another thing I should warn you about, even without the associated as the secrets themselves can often prove dangerous. The true names of God, spells that can shake the cosmic order, that sort of thing.
He looks to Malik and then he looks back to sorry, I keep forgetting her name. It's
Kalena.
And he looks back to Kalena and he says, I mean no offense to my brother, but I don't think he would be able to do anything with that information at all.
Nope, no, I cannot.
I mean,
like kind of the only magic thing I can sort of do is make fire around me.
Yes, he can literally light himself on fire, which from my understanding, is more so to do with birth than anything else. I believe it may be a holdover from father, but no, never mind.
Yeah.
Or maybe mother. Who knows? But in all seriousness, hang on. But in all seriousness, Miss Kalena, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. You holding up your end of the bargain.
And those who do not stay and tend not to stay on top in my kind of world for very long.
Well, if it wasn't readily apparent, my brother means a great deal to me. So when I heard the pleas of your, well, not so much pleas, but when I heard you mention that your daughter was taken from you, I, well, could relate quite a lot. Although it's been many months since I last saw my family, they're no less close to me than they were when I left.
Yeah. Well. Risha. Well. In any case, I have told you all I can.
And it is greatly appreciated for that. And I'm sure Matron Ziora is more than happy for this newfound allegiance between our two, well, prides.
Well, we will see where that goes. As some of my help, as it were, have been very excited about by this temple.
Though I will say offhandedly, I am somewhat disappointed I did not get to fight you personally. You seem more than a capable warrioress.
And well, roll. Go ahead and roll. Yeah, like you get a good look at her, and yeah, there's like her armor is made out of scales from what looks like several different metallic dragons. And she carries herself like someone who won those scales herself.
But yeah, Talos kind of gives this sort of grin on his face, and he says, "Anyone who so proudly displays their trophies of the hunt like that is, well, clearly no small time hunter."
Oh, these. Let's just say tax collectors can get very desperate sometimes.
I have no idea what tax collector is.
Pray you never find out.
Oh well, but well, once everything is calmed down and I find myself returning to the Pride for, well, whenever my journey is complete, perhaps we'll see what a friendly match between us can achieve.
Maybe.
Fair warning, though, my blade arm has proven to be rather powerful.
I am certain.
Well, with that out of the way, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go undo these braids and then silently scream to myself.
Come on, you look fine.
I mean, you kind of do. Hey, that's Kalena speaking. As she like ducks out and like, okay, Juliet, you had your little play date. It's time. It's time for us to go home now. Like, aw. She's like, aw. And as she steps out, you actually see. Like she just finds like there's no ceremony here. She just finds the biggest flat spot out of ground she can find, and that she can find, and just draws a big teleportation circle on it. as it lights up, Julie waves you. Bye.
And
See-
waves.
See you again soon, little one.
And, like she's still waving as they teleport off.
What?
And with that, they are gone.
Once that's done, Talos immediately starts trying to undo the braids.
That she rolled a 22, so go ahead and so go ahead and try and roll sleight of hand to see if you can, because oh no. Yeah, like they actually did a good job with those blades. Those braids. You cannot get them undone.
CeeLo, I need your help.
Yeah.
Sia looks to be standing by Gregor as she just looks over to Talos. Well, I say you had fun.
As I said to the two, as I said to the two of them originally, at least my mane is washed now. Okay.
Well,
Go ahead.
I think you look kind of cute. You're like a kid.
Well, by definition, that is what I am. I am a lion person in a lot of sense, but it takes him a moment to realize what you said. And he just squints at you.
So let's just give a cheeky smile.
You are
I
so
mean,
lucky you are my traveling companion.
Oh, you wouldn't hurt little me.
Depends.
Don't let her being a travel companion stop you. Take your revenge.
Rudy, I don't need your help right now. I know you can kick my butt.
Happy to be of assistance. Rudy,
Seriously, why didn't you? Sorry, go ahead.
Rudy turns the page in their book.
Seriously though, she has somewhat of a point. Why didn't you use CeeLo's hair? I'm sure it's about as much of a disaster as my hair is.
How dare you? I keep my hair on decent conditions.
It is literally dragging behind you.
Is Talos, roll perception real fast.
I was gonna say, you want me to roll perception?
Actually, both of you do. Yes. Oh yeah, you both see this. So you see at least one. There's at least one glob of bird shit in CeeLo's hair.
Birds nesting in your hair becoming a fashion statement, CeeLo?
I haven't got a chance to wash it yet.
It's
Kevin snaps her fingers and prestidigitates.
it's probably
Go ahead.
it's probably the moment's passed. I was gonna say it's probably a dragon. Continue.
So Heaven snaps her fingers and prestidigitates CeeLo's hair clean. There, that helps.
Alright, I don't know what it is, but we've been getting a lot of spam bots as of late. I'm just going to completely hide the chat for now.
Sure thing.
It's Twitch.
No, this is on YouTube.
Huh.
Oh. Well then,
Moving
Right.
on. Heaven then becomes serious and looks to tell us. But on a serious note, does your pride carry messenger birds or something?
Could you say that again? You slurred your words a little.
Does your pride carry messenger birds on a serious note?
Messenger birds?
Yes.
Well, I don't see why we wouldn't. I've never really had
you
much.
do. You do. Although, well, like hey, recent events have taken a bit of a toll on their number. It's because like the Girl Scout would sometimes shoot them out of the sky for fun, but now that that's all settled down, like yeah, you got them.
Well, yes. All right. Talos says, "Well, yes, we do have messenger birds. Just well, bear in mind, like with everything in the valley, they're probably a little temperamental."
I'm wondering if I can use one to contact the person I mentioned.
Go right ahead. And Talos points her in the direction of where some messenger bird, well, a messenger bird nest would be.
He's so mad he's not even gonna ask.
Yeah,
All right, then
so
I'll get a. Kevin grabs a pen and get some parchment and an ink and quill, and writes down her message.
Scylla just looks at Talus as Heaven leaves. You did tell her Rudy is sending, right?
Oh, I kind of forgot about that.
Nah, it's not a
too
big
late.
deal.
Too late
I
now.
don't.
She's not with him anymore.
Actually,
Yeah, like
yeah, I don't think sending. I think sending only works with people she knows.
Yeah, and well, as far as I know, Rudy doesn't know who Heaven is talking about.
Yeah, Yeah, Heaven's gonna talk to a completely different person.
Well, anyway, hope the two of you have been enjoying your time off. I've been somewhat on edge.
I was just talking to Gregor. I thought about writing a book.
Oh yeah, what's it going to be about?
The journeys we had here.
Well, I'm sure Rudy would be happy to proofread it for you.
And I'm sure she'll just constantly just ridicule me for it.
I
Oh,
do
come.
say it is a good. I do say that it is a good idea. I do like the idea of being in a book. Gregor sort of like looks off into the distance, like dramatically.
And like CeeLo pulls out a parchment, right? Dork. Okay.
Picturesque, you are, Gregor.
What?
I said. Talos said, "Picturesque, you are, Gregor."
Yes.
Well,
But you, like, come on, Cielo. You know that Rudy doing anything like that, it comes from a place of love.
I know. It's just sometimes that I care what she thinks. I guess that's the way of saying it.
I hate everyone equally.
See, there you go. She doesn't hate you any less than she hates me.
I'm not pleased by this.
Talos is clearly just playing along with it. Besides Cielo, if she and I can get along well enough, there's no reason you two can't. I mean, from our months together, it's pretty clear you two have been getting along well.
That wasn't the issue. I was just wanted to make sure she liked it.
And hey, I'm sure she will. Because, well, if I'm being entirely honest with myself, you seem to have a way with words, and well, you said it yourself. You pretty much lived in your friend's bookshop, so there's no reason why you don't have the experience for it.
To a degree, I learned a lot of my trade skills off the merchant section of there. Other than that, and my father, of course, but both of them helped me become who I was today.
Speaking of merchants, as much as I love visiting family and being here to help out with all the issues, I really do pray that we can return to Lundrock soon. Seems as though, although we've seen no hide or hair of Blade on, it seems like perhaps he's decided to move on to greener pastures, or at least I hope so.
I'm not too sure about that. I got a bad feeling that he's summoning something. Like those hyenas, for instance. He has abilities that are not beyond our comprehension.
At least he doesn't have. If he's still around, at least he doesn't have Kalena on his side anymore.
I will be right back.
That's true.
No worries.
If you need me, Rudy's just ignoring you all and reading a book.
Sure thing. Actually, come to think of it, we did have that 3-day black sun the other day, and yet there was not an undead in sight.
I find that very actually worrisome.
You think? Considering his proclivity for the undead, or at least the Shadowfell, you think it's probable that he ended up summoning all of them to his side somehow?
I doubt it.
I won't rule it out, but
Yeah, that's a lot. That's all. That's a lot. It's a lot of magic. I don't think that would be possible even for him.
Talus just sighs and he kind of waves it off. I was like, I can speculate all I want, but the problem is that we don't know where he is.
Sadly, I don't have the ability to scry anymore.
Well, we were at least able to cripple his forces, so that's some solace I take. The safety of my pride means a lot to me, so if he's not immediately threatening them, and
Our biggest concern is we need to let them know where we're actually heading if you want them not to target your tribe. But that just puts a target on our backs.
well, there was already a target on our backs thanks to our two godlike beings basically living rent free in our companions' heads.
unfortunately, it just it isn't good for him to be anywhere.
But we all have a plan. We know what we're doing. So we got this. Probably.
Probably. That is it's a fun guesstimate.
Plus, well, I will admit, the idea of taking down the man responsible for causing the destruction of the destruction of my home several thousand years ago. It's a rather exciting prospect.
In the end of it all, laid on in your sack, we should be very careful around them.
Yes, it's just a shame that Ishak happens to live in in the heads of one of our companions.
Well, thankfully, we don't need. We can keep the plan somewhat secret, but we don't need to dance around the fact.
I don't think so either.
Talus starts thinking it. Now that we have had time to settle down, I've actually begun to wonder. Your friend, CeeLo. I've been starting to wonder about her.
Well, which one you speak of? I got plenty of friends.
I am terribly sorry. I'm trying to remember names. It's been too long.
Artoon.
Artoon, yeah.
Artoon, yeah. Artoon, he says sort of just not real with this, the look that you've somewhat expected.
Still frowns. Oh. Here, I thought you talking about another friend. But I understand.
That guard dog was rather adamant that she was a prisoner. Granted, it's not entirely out of the question that she might have been imprisoned unjustly, but what was she in there for?
Oh, you don't remember fully? It's fine.
She only told you she only told you that.
Ah, okay. CeeLo pauses for a minute. She was there because she gave a disciple immortality.
Well, no, she was there.
Oh,
she
wait.
was there because she taught a disciple how to bring back the dead.
Right. I was going to correct myself. She taught a mortal how to raise the dead, how to raise their loved one back.
So she taught someone necromancy.
I'm not sure it's necromancy per se, but whatever magic she used is definitely not. I want to call it necromancy. Sheila just sounds a little more quiet at that.
Well, that I can somewhat understand. The desecration of the dead is a rather, well, insulting prospect.
Any god who resurrects, according to her, is breaking a lot of rules.
Yeah, like that's something that, like, well, all of you roll religion to see who knows about. Well, who knows about that? I guess we've just decided that CeeLo is dimly aware of it.
What about heaven?
She's not part of this conversation, so she's not present, so not at heaven.
Okay.
CeeLo, go ahead, just see how much you know.
Okay.
You know that gods themselves are never supposed to bring back the dead, and not personally. Beyond that, you don't really know why.
I don't know the why, but all I know is gods are not supposed to bring back the dead. Not personally, anyway. Maybe she thought she'd be a little tricky and teach a mortal how to do it instead.
Well, whatever the case, you keep an eye on her.
If she broke a rule, that's the price. But I feel like she's been in there a little too long.
And what? Talos groans a bidding says, and I must admit, if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have the information that we have now.
In the end of it all, Talos, it's because the retaliation of her absence is what caused all the damages.
Indeed, that I can't deny. I'm still going to rip his shot's head off with my bare hands, though.
Well, he's the one that proactivated it, so.
I'm not sure about this, but does he have a head? Like, isn't he some weird dream guy or something?
If he doesn't have a head, then I'll rip him apart through other means.
Well, yeah, well, I'll go ahead and roll Arcana, everyone in this conversation, to see if you know.
That's
Gregor,
about right.
Yeah, Gregor, you're generally aware that angels and demons are something you've kind of just gone over in cleric school, as it were, and you know that something like Ishak generally probably would have a physical form somewhere, whether it looks like the one you've seen in and like the one that he's appeared the thing that he's appeared to you as, who can say?
Yeah, come to think of it, pretty sure he would have a physical body somewhere. So, I mean, you'll have something to rip.
All the better. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think I'm going to actually do a bit of reading today.
Interesting.
Talos excuses himself in the conversation. He says, "Rudy, can I have one of your books?"
Sure.
He grabs one, sits down next to her, and starts reading.
Okay, roll just an ordinary d20 just to see if the book is any good. Tis a really good book. It's about. It seems to be about a dragon that attacks a city, and like the city it's just kind of falls over themselves trying to deal with it.
Sounds like a really good book.
It is a really good book IRL. I literally just looked at the first one that caught my eye on my bookshelf.
Fair enough.
So Gregor,
Yeah.
what is your god like?
Oh, well,
Still leans in closely.
uh, out of character, I don't actually know that much about.
Best, best cleric.
Savessa is the goddess of art and creation, and she's she's definitely known as probably the nicest of the gods. She also very easily flustered when people send her prayers.
Heaven forbid you got Allah. I mean, can you imagine having Allah? My God.
That's hurtful.
Yeah, but think of okay. Okay, think of an online digital artist whenever you give them direct praise and you have some idea what Savessa is like all the time. Yeah, very easy to fluster.
Nick, the problem with Allah being a god is you can't deny this. Allah would totally prank her clerics.
If there are clerics of Alar, which I'm sure there is, they
There
would
are.
be 100%. But there
You've
would
met
be
them.
a lot.
Knew it.
Yeah, they're on drugs.
They were the inventors of the term dank in this world.
Yeah, but anyway.
Still leans in closer to Gregor,
Well,
waiting.
she's a truly creative god. Perhaps maybe part of the source of my of what inspired me to be such a fan of of literary work, of creative works, I guess. And
Okay.
and a very kind goddess.
Well, I heard clerics talk about the gods very highly, so I was just checking to make sure you're actually a cleric, because you haven't mentioned your god recently, and I was very disappointed.
Well, I figured I should keep the god talk a bit down around the fire main.
That's fair. Regardless, Gregor, I just want to tell you something.
Yeah.
Scylla walks a little closer. So listen. The book I'm writing about, you are a hero.
Gregor kind of smiles about.
That's all I wanted to let you know. Anyway, I'm heading out. There you are, Hope! She glares at the dragon.
Yeah, you haven't given any Hope any orders all day, so he's kind of just been wandering around.
Hope, I'm very disappointed in you.
Oh.
Right. I owe Hope some apples. I'm just wanted to mention that Rudy would have given Hope the apples. That's all.
Okay.
You can continue.
Hope is nomming on an apple right now. In that case.
Okay, well, at least I don't have to feed you today. Good job. And then she pats Hope. She's very temperamental today.
Talos, after you guys have looked back after he started reading, he's kind of bundled himself. Well, not really bundled himself up, but he's kind of like lifted his legs up to his chest as he's reading the book. He looks like he's really enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah. And 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 yeah. Okay, so you guys carry on like this for a few hours.
Okay.
And and until eventually off at the docks, you hear some commotion.
Did anyone hear that?
Celia's kind of busy poking at Hope. Poke.
Evan must have just got back at this point, but I think she heard it.
Well, oh, you would have gotten back by now. It's been hours.
But yeah, Talos looks a little bit concerned. He puts the book down into Rudy's pack and he takes off to the north.
Yeah, and over there, you actually see the hunting party returning. Like your mother at the forefront. I'm not going to drag egg their tokens onto the thing because that's a lot of tokens, but they're there. And they are making straight for Creon's tent.
Talos does turn back to her and he says, "Looks like my mother and the hunting party has returned."
Is it good news?
Well, they immediately went on to old Creon's tent, so we can only assume what that entails. Usually, if you're visiting him, it's either a good thing or a bad thing.
You want to check it out?
Might as well.
Very well.
Yeah. Okay, so you hop on over to Creon's tent, and you see your mother like, we don't know what happened, and he just got weaker and weaker during the journey, and on like being laid down, like just carried on a stretcher or onto basically Creon's like table is your father, who is like who is completely still, not moving.
At seeing this, you all see Talos with this utterly shocked expression. And for what seems like maybe the first time since you've met him, he looks genuinely scared.
And then your father speaks up. Also, I can't sleep. Like your father says that. I feel like that's probably a bad thing.
Father, what happened?
Ever? Oh, hey, good, you made it back. So, ever since we had that little fight with that thing, I haven't been able to sleep. no matter how hard I try.
How many days without sleep has he been?
5.
Damn it. This keeps up. He's going to die from exhaustion.
Yeah, I think I might have a spell for that. Yeah, I do. Give me 4 hours.
Alright, and this is Rudy mentioning it, yeah?
Yeah.
At the mention of that, Talos seems like he placed a hand over his heart and takes a sigh of relief.
No, go on.
If you could, Rudy, please, I would greatly appreciate it.
Just give me 4 hours.
Alright. Father, just hold on for a few hours.
I'm not going anywhere, because I can't.
I do have a few healings. I can use my healing magic on him if needed.
Healing magic does nothing for exhaustion.
I know.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was out of character.
Okay. Well, probably can't. No, actually, Creon's been. Well, it probably can't hurt.
Just, please, anything to help him.
I'll deal with any physical injuries, and if he gets to that point, I do know spare the dying. But
I'd rather not think about that.
yeah. Let's pray Rudy works fast.
Yeah.
She's fast and efficient. Never question her on that.
Heaven goes in to lend a helping hand.
Yeah. There's no magical thing that you can really do. You're kind of just like putting water, putting water-soaked rags next to his brow, making sure like he otherwise doesn't like overheat or anything.
Keeping him hydrated and all that.
Yeah.
So this is some side effect of the Shadowfell?
He said ever since we fought that creature, so likely he was referring to that monster that we saved Jule from.
Oh, right.
Maybe hope can help.
That's strange. I thought those creatures wanted people to sleep.
Well, it did. Out of character, if I remember correctly, it did explode, right? It exploded after when the fight was over.
Yes.
But yeah, Talos begins thinking on it a little bit, and it takes him a while in his panic state, but he remembers what happened, and he says, "It's possible that maybe it exploding after we defeated it. What this is a side effect of it? Like, I don't know. Maybe if the creature can't make its prey fall asleep, then it deprives them of sleep as a sort of revenge tactic."
It'll only let him sleep for it. In a sense.
I don't know.
Well, hopefully Rudy's spell can fix this.
But yeah, for the next 4 hours, Talos is just kind of silently stewing as he's tapping his foot in anxiety.
Let me know when 4 hours have passed.
Okay. They've passed.
Okay. I will cast sleep. Oh, okay. Apparently that doesn't work. I'll cast that on him.
It,
And I'll cast it at 4th level. So it goes 3d8, 68, so 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 d8.
okay, go ahead and roll. Oh. Like, and it's enough by 4.
Well, there you go.
Now, so that gets him to sleep, but there still appears to be something, but there still appears to be something, and that should, and that should, and that a minute passes and he's still solidly asleep. So that still seems to have helped, but there. Now that you can look across them, there's still something a little bit off about him. Go ahead and roll a quick Arcana check.
Sure.
This won't be a hard
All-
one. You've seen this
All
before.
of us? Oh.
No, just Rudy. Because this is. Uh. Well, it takes you about an hour to actually realize it, like, and then it hits you. This is a curse.
Alright. In that case, I'll just cast Remove Curse on him. At the...
Yeah. Yep. And whatever it is gone.
Alright. Rudy's just going to,
Yeah.
like, she'll cast that spell and get him to sleep, and then she'll walk away. And then, like, an hour later, she'll come back and slap him, and then walk away again, and say, he's cured.
Yeah. Like, had you not caught that, basically, had you not rolled a nat 1 there, because curses are, like, kind of obvious when you, and you know quite what to look for. Had you not removed that curse entirely, it would have started over again.
Right. Yeah, just Rudy up here basically being Dr. House.
Anyway, but yeah, so Rudy puts him to sleep and then says, that'll do for now, and then walks away. And an hour later, she just suddenly stands up and goes, oh, right. And then just slaps him and then says, alright, he's cured. And then goes back to her books.
Upon hearing that and trusting her words, Talos just seemingly falls to the ground and just takes a big sigh of relief.
Scylla stands by Talos and pats his shoulder and tries to help him up afterwards.
I've never been that stressed before in a while.
Yeah, it was just a simple curse. Nothing too major.
Still, just thank you so much.
Yeah.
Heaven steps out of the tent. Whatever you did, Rudy, it actually helped him sleep.
Well, yeah, it was a sleeping spell.
No, I mean with the slap.
Oh. Yeah, I just removed his curse. I could have done that to begin with, but, I figured getting him to sleep first was more important.
So it was a curse?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wonder what kind of curse.
A curse to not sleep.
I guess that does. I guess that would sort of correlate with what Talos was saying about like revenge for being blown up.
So instead of being lulled to sleep permanently, you suffer from insomnia?
Yep. Let's go now.
That was a weird. That was a weird bug. But at least that's one problem taken care of. Heaven then looks to Talos. I sent that message with one of your birds. I think the Leonin in charge said its name was Twitter.
Oh, that thing. Very, very reliable, but sometimes it gets lost on the way.
Evan groans. I hope it reaches Rosa Pasianos.
You know someone there who may be able to help my brother?
Yes, but I need to know for sure. And if she or one of the others do know, then we may have to make a special trip to my homeland.
Well, out of character, if I remember correctly, we do need to go there, so... Well, I guess it's rather fitting that we need to go there at some point, so...
Just several things you need to know. One,
Yeah.
absolutely stock up on water or anything that can produce fresh water.
Okay.
It's a desert kingdom that's been in a drought for 100 years. Second, guard your water with your life. There are many who would kill for even just a glass of water.
Good. If they try, I'll kill them back.
I'm just saying, water is a very valuable resource right now, worth more than even gold.
Right. Stock up on water skins. Easy enough. well, so far it seems like there's no current problems that the Pride is facing, and well, we fulfilled our mission for what we came here originally. I don't know. I don't know about you lot, but I think I'm no longer homesick, and I'm willing to go on the road again.
Hmm.
I'm ready
Just
to go. In my message I told her that if she, to send if she's sending a reply to send it to Lundruk.
well, that's that then, right?
Might as well be. Well, and if anything does come up, well, then we can have matrons of yours send what to Lundruk as well. We've got a fixed address now, so
Are
not
we
much problem.
are we not heading south?
We gotta report in first. And I still need to wait for a reply. There is a chance that
Okay.
my contacts may not know, so
Okay.
But after stopping and reporting in Lundruk, then yes, we'll be heading south.
Okay.
Just give us a chance to breathe after being here for so long.
Okay.
Okay. So, and so it's getting late enough that we'll say that you plan to stay for one more night and then head out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So you explain all this to your fan. It's to your as well to Malak, to your family. Except your dad, who is probably not going to be out of bed for the next few days. He's in that, and like they all wish you well, hug you goodbye, all that good stuff.
Enough.
Yeah. And that can be elaborated more on, but for now, with your next steps decided and your next leg of the journey you plotted out, I think that's a good place to call it for this evening. So we will put this up here next week.
Alright, thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.